Hello, welcome back to the Atomix project. For this next little bit, I ended up with about 3 hours of video getting the display lines to work, being able to click on them so that we could then do the movement, then determining the win condition. I tried to edit out as much cruft as I could, and believe me, there was like half an hour has ended up on the cutting room floor, but it still left me with a really long video. So what I ended up doing was I ended up splitting it into separate parts, of which this is one. So the next 3 or 4 videos are actually the big long video, but once we get to the win condition, that's it. That's the end of this smaller subsequence of videos. So check out the playlist above, which should be above my head somewhere, for the other videos in this series. But without further ado, let's get started. Quick couple of announcements before we actually get to the code. First thing is, this book is still available, Python Pygame, Raspberry Pi game development, and A-Press asked me if I wanted to get involved in writing another book, and I said yes. And so here's the other one, which is Unity Networking Fundamentals, so creating multiplayer games within Unity. I wrote the first half of this book. I actually co-wrote it with Kajendra, and he wrote the rest of the book. But yeah, I'm super happy with it. I did a couple of examples at the start, so it's all about TCP connections in C#, how to sort of get a weather app, and then there's a tic-tac-toe game in there as well, and then later on in the book it shows you how to create a maze game. But yeah, it's all in here. It's not particularly thick, but it covers quite a lot of ground. But yeah, this is out now. Link will be in the show notes below. Thanks. So what we're going to do for this, I should say get rid of it. Get rid of cursor. Save. Okay. So we are going to be getting rid of the cursor, selecting an object, adds arrows in a particular direction, selecting an arrow launches the item in that direction, and then we're going to remove the background as well. And that's all for this video. So that's the ones that we're going to be doing just now. So some of these are fairly easy. The first one is that background. I say it's easy, but I don't know where the background is. Where is the background? Let me go into the scene. What is this object? Wait, that's not right, is it? There we go. Canvas image background. Delete. It's gone. We don't need it anymore. It's gone. Okay, so there's the background there. We also need to get rid of the cursor. The cursor does have some nice controls on there, so we need to take a wee note of that. Where are we? Let's see, take a note of that. The controls that we have on here are the cursor script. Okay. Do we have anything else on there? No, the only thing we have there is the shape. Alright, so let's get rid of the cursor. Boom, that's gone. And then the only other thing we need is the direction lines. So we definitely need those direction lines, and they get used by those shapes there. So everything, let's make sure we don't have any errors. Oops. What's this not like? Oh, okay. So object selection. Alright, okay. Object selection. Well, can we still use object selection? We probably have to use our own one, but let's get rid of that. So let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of this one. I don't know why it is, but every time I start recording, my throat clams up and I end up can't speak properly. Okay, so we don't have cursor, so I'm going to get rid of these here. Return true, and then I don't have cursor here either. So that should hopefully stop. Let me just clear that and make sure that's okay. So we clear it and run, and we don't get any in there. That's fine. This is from the serialization thing. I'm not too sure why we get that, but we can leave that for another day. Okay. So get rid of cursor, done. Remove background, done. So the two major things we want to get done today is the selecting an object, and we want to put an arrow on there. So when we create the object, that's done inside Board Manager. So we have our file loader here. So when we add the pieces, this bit here, this to do add pieces, we need to create a list that's got those pieces inside it. So I'm going to create a list of atoms, and that's going to be the list of the game objects that you can click on inside the scene. So I was going to say private list atoms, and inside here I'm going to say atoms equals new at, and then down here I'm going to say atoms add. And then I'm going to say some atom equals go.get component atom dot blah 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 blah. Let's just call it A. Okay, let me do A. And then A. Why is that not like get component? Oh, that's why it doesn't like get component. Okay, so we're going to add the pieces to there. And then for each atom, when you click on it, it's going to then handle that particular action. So inside the atom, so this is the class that we created last time that's got all these setup shape and all that kind of stuff. We're going to have a on mouse up event. So we're going to say void on mouse up as button, and then we're going to have to fire an event when this happens. So we need to know what type of atom this is going to be, and I think we can, because we can pass in the index reference. So this is the win condition. So I'm going to say public event handler, and then it's going to be an string clicked invoke this, and then the string is going to be index ref. So we now have a reference to this value, this script here, and we also have this just for easy access. And so in our file loader, we then do a.clicked plus equals atom clicked, and I'm going to generate that, and then I'm going to do print E. Just going to print E just now, and we're going to see what we've got, because we also need to keep a record of other bits and pieces to do with atoms. So when I click on, so I've got the console there, if I click on H, it tells me it's 3, click on that, it tells me it's 1, click on that and it tells me it's 2. Okay, and so that is good. So when the atom is clicked, display cursor direction lines, disable. Well, I just want to be able to show that again, so it doesn't really matter. Cancel all other cursor direction lines. We don't want to show any other direction lines. And then the direction lines we've got are actually here, or inside this one here, because this is what gets controlled by the object selection. And I don't want to. I'm going to get rid of these two scripts, I think, because and I think it was Roy that pointed this out. Maybe it was just as quick to create this from scratch, but I figured it was very similar, some of the code base anyway, and it turned out I wasn't going to use the cursor anyway, so I should probably just have done this separately, but never mind. So object selection there, it checks to see if it's in the normal direction, then it says directions get that, and then it moves the piece there. Where's the selection part of it? There you go, directions, turn on piece. So directions is directions allowed. So directions is add line, and then that's the one that controls the directions that are available. Okay, so add line, piece forward. What's add line? Add line, lines add. Seems needlessly complicated, but okay. Direction lines, add line. So then we add a line, which is this one here. And direction lines is this one. Okay, I think we just wing it just now. So when we create, let's have a direction lines one inside the, where are we, file loader. Okay, so let's do public direction lines. Direction lines. Let's just keep everything inside this one script. This is going to be like our game controller, I guess. And then we can say add line, and then it's the start, so it's going to be sender.gameObject. Let's break this out a little bit. Our gameObject equals sender as gameObject, position equals gameObject dot transform dot position, and then we're just going to make it somewhere off to the right just now. So var target equals position plus vector 3 dot right. I'm just going to make it one over to the right. So I'm going to say position and target. Okay. So let's see what that looks like now. So I want this one here. I click on this one. Oh, and it doesn't like that because I haven't set up the reference. So I go back to board manager and I choose direction lines and I drop direction lines in there. And I click on that and it still doesn't like it. Okay, so, oh no, sender's not a game object, sender's an atom. Sender's an atom, that's why. Okay, I don't need to debug that. Alright, so we click on that, and then we click on that, and we see we get our arrow. So that's going to show us the arrow that you can move in. So now we need to determine what one's there, but when we click on that, we want to be able to cancel the arrows, because you can see that the arrows are currently playing for each one of these. So I think there's a remove lines, clear, there you go. Okay, so now we need to do, this is cancel all other cursor lines, so we do that, and we do direction lines dot cancel clear. So now we have our board manager. So I'm going to take the direction lines, which is this thing here, and I'm going to drag it up into here, because that's we're basically keeping things up at the top, and then we're removing things as we don't need them. In fact, talking of which, let's get rid of blue, green, orange, purple, yellow, and astronaut, because we do not need those. They're gone. So we don't need them at all. Okay. So now when we click on this, we click on the first one, you can see the arrow there. Actually, can you see the arrow? Let me just zoom in a little bit. So you can see the arrow there. Click on the next one, the arrow clears, and then you get this arrow here, and then this one here, the arrow clears, and you get this one here. And now we need to calculate what directions are allowed when you click an arrow. Continued in the next video. Don't you hate it when people do that? Keep an eye out for the next part of this video, and it's going to be out next Thursday. I hope you've been enjoying this series so far. Thumbs up if you did, thumbs down if you didn't, and let me know in the comments where I can improve. If you've got this far and you like what you see, please consider subscribing. Hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and you'll get timely reminders of when I post a video up next. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.